I never believed in ghosts. I used to laugh at people who said they felt things in the dark or saw faces in windows. I thought they were just scared of being alone. That changed the night I saw her. It was early spring. I had just moved into a small house outside of town. Nothing fancy. Just me, my dog Max, and a quiet backyard that faced a line of trees. There was an old wooden fence at the end, maybe 6 feet tall, half rotten. The kind of fence that looked like it had 100 stories to tell if wood could talk. The first night I was out back with Max, it was chilly. Quiet, not even a breeze. Max ran to the fence and froze. His ears perked up. His tail dropped. Then he growled. I didn't think much of it at first. Probably a raccoon or a cat. But then I saw it just beyond the fence, between 2 trees. A girl, she was standing still, dead still, just watching us. She couldn't have been older than 10. She had long black hair and a dirty white dress. Her arms hung straight by her sides like she didn't know what to do with them. I stepped back. She didn't move. Then Max barked once and charged the fence and the girl was gone. Just like that. I walked over. Looked through the slats. Nothing. Not a sound. Not a footprint. That night I didn't sleep well. Max kept pacing at the back door. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face again, blank, pale, watching. The next morning, I checked the yard. The swing on the old frame was swaying slightly. I figured maybe it caught the wind, until I noticed there was no wind. Later that night, I heard something strange, a soft creak. I got up, walked to the kitchen window, and looked out. The swing was moving again. Back and forth, steady, too steady. Then I saw her, the same girl. Sitting on the swing now, she was staring straight at the house. At me. I opened the door and stepped out. Max barked wildly and tried to hold me back. But I walked anyway. The swing was still moving. The girl was gone. I looked down. Carved into the wood of the swing, fresh and deep. I like your daughter's room. I don't have a daughter. I didn't sleep that night. I sat with Max TV on, all the lights glowing like it could protect me. At 2:37 a.m., the power went out. I swear to you, in the silence that followed, I heard footsteps on the back porch. I grabbed a flashlight and shined it through the window. Nothing. But when I opened the door, the swing stopped midair like it froze when it saw me. Then I heard the voice. It was right behind me. A little girl's voice. Can Max come play? I turned. Nothing. Max was staring at the fence again, his body stiff, his fur standing up. The next morning I found scratches on the inside of the back door. Not dog scratches. Fingernails. I called the police. They didn't take me seriously. Said it was probably a neighborhood kid messing around. I didn't know what to say. I just wanted it to stop. I put up motion lights in the backyard, bought cameras, even nailed the fence shut in some places. But the next night she came again. I woke up at 3:10 a.m. to the sound of the swing. When I looked outside, nothing. But when I opened the camera footage from earlier, I almost dropped my phone. At exactly 3:03 a.m., the girl stepped into frame, right up to the camera. Her face inches from the lens. She smiled, then whispered something. I played it again, louder this time. I'm already inside. I ran through the house like a madman, checking every door, every window. Nothing was open, but in my bedroom on the mirror, written in something brownish red, I saw you watching. I packed a bag that morning. I left. I stayed at a hotel for a week. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't think. When I finally came back, the house felt colder, dead. I walked out to the backyard. The swing was gone. Not broken. Gone. And nailed to the fence where it had been was something wrapped in cloth. I opened it slowly. Inside was Max's collar. I haven't seen him since. I moved, again. But I still check the backyard every night. And sometimes I see the swing again. even though I left it behind. You ever do something small, just something stupid, and then realize you invited something dark into your life? That's what happened to me. And it all started with a whistle. We bought this house last year. It was an old 2-bedroom ranch with a big fenced-in backyard. The fence ran all the way around the property. Looked strong, stable, except for one spot. In the back right corner, a board was missing. Just one slat. Like something had pushed through it or maybe come out. I didn't think anything of it. Until the third night, it was around midnight. I was out back with my headphones in, walking in circles, trying to shake off a headache. That's when I heard it. A whistle. 3 notes, high, low, high. I paused the music. Looked around. No one. Figured it was my imagination or a neighbor. But then I heard it again. High, low, high. I walked toward the fence. The missing slat felt darker than the rest of the yard, like it sucked in the moonlight. I peeked through. Just woods. But something about it made my skin crawl. So I whistled back. Same 3 notes. High, low, high. I don't know why I did it. Boredom? Arrogance? I went inside. Didn't think about it again. Until 3:11 a.m., I woke up to scratching at the back door. Not like a dog. Long, slow, deliberate scratches. Like fingernails. I turned on the porch light. Nothing. But the sound didn't stop. I opened the door. Still nothing. But just before I closed it, I heard it again. High, low, high, coming from the woods. I shut the door. Locked it. Didn't sleep. The next morning, I found something stuck in the back gate. A piece of cloth. Old, damp, frayed. And on it, drawn in something brownish red, was a symbol. It looked like a stick figure with no face. My wife thought it was a prank. She told me to relax. I didn't that night. Around 3 a.m., I stood at the door. Lights off, waiting. Nothing happened. So I whistled again. High, low, high. Then I saw it. A shape. Crawling under the broken slat. Slow, wrong, like her joints bent backwards. I froze. She rose to her feet. Maybe 10 feet tall, arms long, hair soaking wet. Head twitching like it couldn't stay up. I ran, slammed the door. Locked every bolt. I could hear her. Breathing outside. Then she whispered, "Call me again." The next day, the backyard was filled with muddy footprints, bare, thin, leading, in circles around the house. My wife begged me to leave. I agreed. We packed our things. That night, we stayed at a hotel. But at 3:12 my phone buzzed. A voicemail. No number. I played it. High, low, high, whistle, then a whisper. You called, I came. We didn't go back. We moved states. Blocked the number. Changed everything. But last night, walking home, I heard it again. From behind a dumpster, high, low, high, she's still following me. Because when you whistle, she never forgets. She just waits. I've never told anyone this story. Not even my wife. Because if I say it out loud, maybe he'll hear me again. It started 6 years ago when we moved into our first home. We were excited, fresh paint, big yard, plenty of space for a future family. The backyard was huge but oddly shaped. One corner of it dipped down and held water whenever it rained, almost like a natural bowl. I wanted to fix that, so I got a shovel. It was a Saturday afternoon, sunny, quiet. I went out alone, just wanting to level it, maybe lay down some new grass. After about 10 minutes of digging, I hit something. Not a rock. It sounded hollow. I knelt down and brushed away the dirt. It was a wooden plank, old, dry, rotted. I thought maybe it was an old tree root or some debris. But when I cleared more, I realized something. It was a box. A coffin-sized box, buried in my backyard. I froze. I'm not a brave man, and I didn't want to find anything I couldn't explain. I almost covered it back up, but curiosity won. I kept digging. When I finally uncovered the whole thing, it wasn't a coffin exactly. More like a homemade wooden crate held shut with thick, rusted nails. I called my wife out. She laughed nervously and said, "Please tell me this isn't a body." I didn't answer. We stood there staring. Then I made the worst mistake of my life. I pried it open. The lid snapped off with a sharp creak. Inside, there was nothing. Just dirt, loose, dry dirt. It didn't make sense. Why bury an empty box? Why bury just dirt? My wife made a joke and walked back inside, leaving me to clean it up. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the box. Why was it sealed so tight? Why bury it 6 feet down? I got up around 2 a.m. to get water. As I passed the kitchen window, I glanced out back and nearly dropped the glass. Someone was standing in the hole where the box had been. A man. No shirt, filthy, his back was to me. He was staring at the house. I ducked. Told myself it was my imagination. Waited 5 minutes. Looked again. He was gone. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I found footprints, barefoot, muddy, leading from the hole to the back door. But they didn't go away from the door. Just to it like he came up, but never left. I installed cameras the next day. My wife thought I was being paranoid. She joked that I was acting like we lived in a horror movie. She wasn't laughing a week later. Because she saw him too. It was 3:17 a.m. I heard her scream from the living room. I ran out. She was on the floor, shaking, pointing at the window. "He was there," she whispered. Looking in, smiling. We checked the camera. There was a glitch at exactly 3:17. The screen cut out, static, then, for 2 seconds, a still frame came back. A man's face. Right up against the glass, smiling, teeth covered in mud. Eyes wide, empty. We called the police. They searched the yard. Found nothing. But they didn't dig where the box had been. They didn't want to. I started hearing noises under the floorboards, scratching like fingers dragging on the wood. Always around 3 a.m. One night I stayed up. Sat in the kitchen with the lights off. At 3:04 the scratching began. I held my breath. Then the noise changed. It wasn't under the house anymore. It was inside the wall. Then I heard breathing, slow, wet, right behind me. I turned fast. No one. But on the fogged-up window near the door, a handprint from the inside. We tried to leave. Packed our things. Booked a hotel. But the night before we left, I woke up to something heavy sitting on my chest. I couldn't move. Couldn't scream. A face leaned down, inches from mine. The same man, covered in dirt. He opened his mouth and whispered, "You shouldn't have opened it." Then he was gone. We moved the next morning. Haven't been back. But sometimes at 3:04 a.m., I wake up covered in dirt,